What's going on, traders? Welcome back to day 2 of 25 days of trading. Remember that every single morning all the way through Christmas, I'll be dropping a new video at 11 a.m. Eastern time, so make sure you check back in tomorrow. Today, I want to talk about how I just simply trade off of this New York VWAP, trading with the trend, and I was able to make over $400 today. We'll go over some past markups as well, but today was just textbook setups, and I want to walk you through my full strategy as simple as could be. Now, before we get into that, I do have my full strategy available on ASFX TV, and actually this morning, I dropped an update to it. I added some chapters and lengthened some chapters. So all the information you need on my entry, my exit, my sizing, anything and everything, you can find it in here, and it's absolutely free if you just click the link down below or use code FIRST. You could also tune into the live streams every morning. Let's get into today's trade. Beautiful clean bounce off of the New York VWAP here on NQ. So first thing to look at is I don't chase the first break of opening range. That's the first 15 minutes set of the New York session. Whether it's the high or the low, I don't care. I'm not going to chase the first break, or I shouldn't. They often don't run very far. And I'm also using a VWAP anchored from the 9:30 New York Open. Pretty simple. But with that first break, okay, buyers are in control. The 15 minutes looking bullish, which we could pull up later. But buyers are in control above this New York VWAP since the open. I don't want to chase the first break. I'm looking for a return or a retest to that same key level of the New York VWAP. And this is on one of those clean days when both of my levels are lined up of the New York VWAP and that open range high, right? So now I have two levels as almost a launch pad to go continue this trend that is, to me, obviously bullish so far today. So rather than chasing the higher highs, let it pull back, create the next higher low off of a key level, and I'll just trade it back up for the next higher high. And you can see my exit here. When it moves that one directional, the quicker like that, 4 or 5 minutes straight in one direction for a new high, I'm out. I'll get my piece of the pie and I'll come back later. This is later in the day, but I'm done for the day. But this is the whole premise of rather than just hug this thing forever and need it to skyrocket, it pulls back to the very same VWAP that we just launched it off of. You could take the bounce play here and trade the next higher high, right? You're probably going to get out of the high a day with a stop loss well below. The thing I loved about my long this morning is rather than just buy the bounce immediately, see when the pullback is maybe finished, right? You can see this purple VWAP. That's the high of day VWAP. That's going to tell me that buyers are 100% back in control. So I could buy it here, right, when it shows that one bullish bar. But let me get convinced that buyers are going to fully step in and take it out. So rather than jumping in too early and not really knowing structurally where to put your stop loss, right, if you just had it floating in the middle there, you're going to get pinned out. But when I could see the full pullback maybe come in and now buyers break this high of day, I'm saying, okay, this is my structure I'm working with. That's where my stop loss is going to go. There's our higher low we're working with. Now I want to be long at this price. And that's when we're ready to go back higher. So definitely keep that in mind even for this later long. Yes, you could have put a stop loss here today, but if it wants to play around like it did previous, you want to be able to be in this long as it's holding that New York VWAP. So clean setups today, easy trades on stream, good management as well, good exit. This is just going back to other markups of what is my strategy. You can still, same thing. The blue VWAP now is that New York because I'm also incorporating the overnight VWAP, which is anchored from the changeover of day down here in black. That we're above both, right? I'm still not chasing this first break of opening range. Don't want to get caught with the amateurs chasing breakouts, but it's a nice sign that buyers are in. So if we're below this New York one, right, saying sellers are in, not really, because we're still above this black one. If we gotten below both of them, then sure, maybe structure is shifting and now sellers are trying to take control. But I'm still sticking to structure of saying we're still making higher lows so far. And once we get back above both VWAPs, let me go get the next higher high. I don't want to chase higher highs. I want to be involved when we're going to already get that next higher high of the trend. What I didn't do on this day, right? Here's the first break of open range. Ran pretty nicely. Wish I would have taken it that day. But it doesn't do it consistently, so I can't try to pick and choose which days to do it. Then we just let it fall without us. We'll get our pullback. I got impatient and sold it one at the bottom at the very lowest price. I don't like that because now I need a breakout to make money. I'd rather trade back to where we already have been, aka after a pullback, and it returns to that same VWAP we just went over and all those other markups. That's the price to want to sell it. It gives you a better stop loss, and you trade it back down in the direction of trend, but also back down to the lows. So my bad on chasing it at the bottom, when if you just show a little bit of patience, 10 minutes later, it gives you the better trade at a way better price. Similar to this one, here's the first break. Now, even if you buy it there, you definitely could scalp it up, right, and try to capture this move. Good luck with that, doing that consistently. Where is your stop loss? How much risk do you put on that? Whatever. That's fine. Let it pull back. Here's my New York VWAP retest now twice and this open range high. The break of high day VWAP is going to be one entry here or just playing the bounce, saying, okay, buyers are back above this black VWAP, get me in now. Stop loss down here, because if it gets taken out, now we're below the opening range high, right, this black horizontal level, and we're below the New York. I don't want to be a buyer. Maybe trend is shifting. But what do? You trade it back up to the high of day, somewhere that we've already been, right? Rather than chasing breakouts saying, we're up here at the highs, I hope it keeps going higher. I'm long off of a key level, trading back to somewhere we've already been. So if it rejects that, I don't care. I'm already out. I know that price can get up there. It's done it before. Looking at it this day, here's another example on the clean bounce off New York. Money to be made in there. But looking at this one's not fully off of New York, Evan. It is a pullback. It's a break of high day VWAP. Can I take this? Absolutely. Take whatever you want. I'm not going to say it's low probability by any means, but stop loss placement is going to be very important on all of these setups. But if you go with the stop loss at current structure, should never be the case. Again, I explain all of this more in detail on Futures 2.0 with hours and hours of markups. And right now it's free, so go check it out afterwards. But if I get stopped out here, I'm not really told, hey, you don't want to be long anymore, right? So I want to have a stop loss that would truly invalidate my long bias. So that's going to be previous structure to the left, not this current one, to the left back here. So that way when this pullback comes to New York, I'm saying, okay, let's see if we build a higher low. I could still see buyers try to defend this level and move us back up. So don't take me out of my long yet, right? And that's the whole premise of it. Keep me in the trade until the idea is no longer looking like it's in my favor. So you could definitely make money on those, or you could try to let the full pullback come in and then buy it at an even lower price. But at the end of the day, you're sometimes going to take this, and it's not a bad entry because sometimes it will drift from there, right? So not a bad entry, but just like I said, stop loss placement is huge. Looking at it this way, I also use the 15-minute. I've mentioned it earlier on one of these earlier markups. I think it was this one. The overnight VWAP, that's this black one. Like I said, it's from the changeover of day, 6 p.m. Eastern. So I also use that in line with the 9:30 New York Open one here. So you can see on the left side, I like to be involved in moves similar to how I want to be long at this New York VWAP and try to catch the pops from there. Same thing applies to this overnight VWAP, right? If we're down here, I think a move could happen from here, either long or short. It depends on the day. But the launch pad is this VWAP. So if I can get around here, and I think I have a good beat on trend, this would be a good price. So we get a nice move up. Clearly buyers are in control. The money was down here when it launched pad from that VWAP, right? We get a small pullback, break of high day VWAP. Could it keep going higher, drifting higher? I mean, it's definitely buyers in control. Now, there's a few things wrong with this markup. The first one being it's pretty hot. It's not off a key level. It's overextended. It's not off that New York VWAP like we want, as well as the stop loss is at current structure. So what happens here, it pulls back, takes out this current structure here, right? Just to retest that VWAP that we initially wanted anyways, and breaks the high of day. Now there's a time we want to go back higher. And you can notice price-wise, it's pretty much the same price, right? Buying at these two levels. But the time you do it here with that tight stop loss is too early. It still wants to pull back some more to the VWAP. So if you can catch it on its way back up after fully retesting it, that's when you're going to have more favorable odds, right? So I think I try to keep it as simple as possible. On the clean trending days, it's going to work out beautifully. And then on the slower trending days, I still think trend is your friend as best as you can find it on an ugly day. But if I buy it off of this New York and it just goes to this high and comes back down, I could still make money in that little move because I got a great price. Now, if I'm getting caught chasing breakouts on a day that's not trending, it's going to be different outcomes because you're not getting follow through. So when you traded it away from VWAP, aka like up here, you're going to lose a little bit more, right? So I think even on a clean day or an ugly day, if you can get prices close to this VWAP as possible, you'll be very pleased with yourself. Even imagine my long this morning. If we somehow just rejected this high, I'm out. I made money on a long on a day that's not really moving higher because I'm not getting caught jumping in the trade too late. I'm getting in when it's ready to go, it's coiling up and ready to pop, all right? So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you check out the future days that are coming out. Like I said, all the way through Christmas morning at 11 a.m. every single day. Check out the streams every morning. We'll be live on there, 9:30 at the open. You could use code FIRST. The first month's free, as well as you get access to this course that I'm preaching here. So if you want to learn more about it, definitely dive deeper into that. And check out the top one sale. Depending on when you're watching this, it's still 57.5% off. They extended their Black Friday sale. So if you need an account with code EVAN right now, it's 5 copy traded accounts with the instant fundeds and 6 Ignite accounts. So whichever one you prefer, I have videos on YouTube about both of those account types if you want to learn more about those. But let's just keep up the momentum all of December. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.